tiger. A certain hunter saw, in the middle of a field, a fox, whose skin was so beautiful that he wished to take him alive. Having this in view, he found out his hole, and just before the entrance to it, he dug a large and deep pit, covered it with slender twigs and straw, and placed a piece of horseflesh in the middle of the covering. When he had done this, he went and hid himself in a corner out of sight, and the fox, returning to his hole and smelling the flesh, ran up to see what dainty morsel it was. When he came to the pit, he would fain have tasted the meat, but fearing some trick, he refrained from doing so, and retreated into his hole. Presently up came a hungry tiger, who, being tempted by the smell and appearance of the horseflesh, sprang in haste to seize it, and tumbled into the pit. The hunter, hearing the noise made by the tiger in falling, ran up and jumped into the pit without looking into it, never doubting that it was the fox that had fallen in. But there, to his surprise, he found the tiger, which quickly tore him in pieces and devoured him. Look before you leap. The Spanish Cavalier. One day, a quarrel about a lady happened between a Spanish cavalier and a Dutchman. Satisfaction was the word, and they met to decide the dispute. The contest was fierce and bloody, for they closed at the first encounter, and the Don, being mortally wounded, fell down and cried out to an intimate friend of his who was running to his assistance, but too late. "My good friend, for the love of heaven, be so good as to bury me before anybody strips me." Having said this, so great a quantity of blood flowed from his wound that he died immediately. Now this odd request of the Spaniard to his friend raised everybody's curiosity, as it generally happens in things prohibited, to see him divested of his clothing, especially since it was the dying request and entreaty of a worthy hero of that wise nation, who never speak at random, nor drop a word that is not full of mysteries, and each mystery full of sense, so that everyone had a great desire to know the meaning of it, and, in spite of all his friend could do to prevent it, he was stripped immediately. Upon search, this spruce blade, who was completely dressed as a cavalier, and with a curious ruff about his neck worth more than all the rest of his finery, was found not to have a shirt on his back, at which the spectators could not help smiling, although the event was so pitiable. The vain prefer honor to life. The two soldiers and the robber. Two soldiers traveling together were set upon by a robber. One fled away, the other stood his ground, and defended himself with his stout right hand. The robber being slain, the timid companion ran up and drew his sword, and said, "I'll at him, and I'll take care he shall learn whom he has attacked." On this, he who had fought the robber made answer, "I only wish that you had helped me just now, even if it had only been with those words, for I should have been more the encouraged, believing them to be true. But now put up your sword in its sheath, and hold your equally useless tongue till you can deceive others who do not know you." A coward is soon found out.